Yeah, thanks for driving your mom up here. Robert brought him up from Miami and brought Kirk too. They picked him up, found him somewhere out around Fort Lauderdale on the interstate, right? Yeah. We got a couple questions here. We don't have a lot of time, but we want to get a couple of these out. And this one's to the panel. This is from Bill. It says, how do you deal with overexertion at any depth? Like if you have a hold-up fish or a tug-of-war with a fish. Does anybody want to try to address that one? No? GR says, yeah, I'll do it. You got it on mic right there?
The key to dealing with overexertion is to not overexert. Not a joke, but basically, if you have a fish that gets rocked up, which typically a grouper will do, the best thing to do is to wave one of your buddies over, tell them to keep an eye on you, relax, like I mentioned earlier, go down, do a nice controlled dive, easy, don't exert yourself. Usually, if you have your buddies there, a couple guys, you can usually work that fish out the rock together.
All right, here's another question, and this one is a little, it's a little ambiguous in a way. It says, how many dives in a day do you make, and how long are they? And I guess that depends on actually on your qualification stuff. But do you, on this kind of question, do you find that it varies from day to day from you guys? Okay.
Thank God to technology, I got the computer and I could figure out how many dives I have, and I was surprised that at the tournament, myself and my friends will do anywhere between 70 to 100 dives a day. And for regular fishing day, we probably just do it maybe 40 or so. And I was looking at the one tournament that I didn't even win. I did 139 dives, and my average bottom time was about probably a little bit over a minute. So when you do the math, in 6-7 hours of tournament, a little bit over 2 hours, I wasn't breathing at all. So, I have a big question, how many brain cells died right there. But funny to mention, how many dives, you did and how many times you went down. It doesn't mean you got more dives you do, more fish is gonna break. The last few tournaments that I won, actually I didn't do a lot of dives at all, and I was very relaxed about it. So less stress you have and better dives you have, you have more chance to get in your fish if that's what you're looking for, rather than how many dives you make. It's how many dives is really irrelevant. It's just, did you enjoy that dive? Did you get what you wanted out of it? And it was a good quality of dive.
All right, thanks, Sasha. We get this question all the time teaching scuba classes, but rarely do we get them with freediving. And I don't know if you guys had an answer for this one. Obviously, it says, what are the effects of alcohol on freediving? But I don't know if it's like if you were drinking the night before. Hopefully not when you're out there doing it. But did you guys do any studies, or they have anything on Dan about the alcohol and freediving doing anything besides making you lethargic, tired? And obviously it's not a good idea, right?
I have a friend who dives in the Med, and he used to drink with his buddies, just a normal evening, and go out and then dive the next day. And he always had a lot of blood. He would cough up a lot of blood. I think that for some reason that happens with some people who drink before they dive. He stopped drinking before he dives, and the bleeding stopped. So
there's another consideration in alcohol and freediving, that alcohol is a vasodilator, so that's why you get the red nose. So if you remember from diving reflex, one thing we want to do is we want to constrict those blood vessels in the extremities, your arms and legs, and bring all that oxygenated blood to really feed brain and heart. So if your extremities are still dilated, you're not getting that advantage of that diving reflex, which, besides slowing of the heart, is a very significant thing. So you're never going to dive at your peak, and in fact, if you try and dive at your peak, you're diving, in a deficit position to begin with, just because of that. Not to mention the dehydration that would go with it from a night out on the town and that sort of thing, which obviously can be a problem.
All right, thank you. We have time for a couple more. Here's this one's on a spearfishing question, and this has to do with chumming and flashers. If you guys know what that is, chumming is obviously putting bait fish in the water, and flashers, or there was a couple pictures GR had where they had all kind of metallic reflective material in the water to attract the curiosity of fish. And the question was, do you use chummers and flashers in shallow water when you're free diving too, or just out in the blue water? You guys ever? Just the blue water? Never tried it in shallow, or it just doesn't work in there? You can try it. This is from Anthony. Anthony, you can try it. And then the last one, which was, it's a question from Raul from Lakeland. He says, what can I do to start freediving, breathing exercises, classes, etc.? And I guess maybe I can answer that for the panel, that there's people out there that can teach these classes. There's shops that teach them. That's what they've been telling you. The most important thing is to do something, to learn more, to take classes. Don't just leave here and say, that's all the information I need, because this isn't all the information you need. They just scratched the surface and just try to let you know tonight that there are dangers. It can be a very safe sport, but you got to go out and get the information. And there are classes taught in these areas at shops, and you could go and interview the instructors and find out the qualifications. Anybody that I'm sure Kirk has taught with performance freediving, I don't know, do you have instructors over here in the area?
Not currently, but we're developing.
I know I'm working at trying to get some for you guys, because I mean, it's amazing when it's a hard course. These guys are amazing what they can do, but he's at Fort Lauderdale, and they teach them. And then Chris teaches classes here. I teach them at my shop. I know that Jerry Garrett teaches them over in Jerry's here somewhere, I think, and he teaches them over in Tampa. But it's safety first, and you learn a lot of things. CPR, not just in the water, right? But you have to have people that can help you. And you can go to the DiveWise site and see all that stuff. You can contact information is in the brochure, and you can reach Kirk and ask him who he would recommend or his area and stuff. You can reach Julie through this contact information. And if you still can't find what you want, you can go to the FSDA. But most importantly, do something. Educate yourself. And if you know some kids or some people, not anybody that's doing it without the education, take the time to save your friend and talk to them. That's why we're here today, I believe, is to try to help with that.
You wouldn't throw your car keys to your kid and say, go learn how to drive now. So don't throw a spear gun the same way and say, go learn how to freedive, right? Education is the key.
All right, well, we have to wrap things up. I know that they said they would stand around and help answer some questions. We might have a few minutes of that as we're breaking down everything. But I do want to thank the school again for giving us the venue and the time. And of course, our speakers for coming from long distances, from taking the time out of their schedule. All of them up here. Can you guys help give them a round of applause? Thank you very much, and we'll try to have more events like this. If you have any suggestions or ideas, please let me know. Thank you for coming.